Hey, all right, everybody. It is Thursday night. You know, it's my favorite night of the week. Thursday night is the day that I get to come and I get to share a good half hour with all of you lovely people out there. And I'm super excited about tonight's show. I hope you guys have been having a great week. There's been a lot going on. I hope you guys have been watching sports, staying away from the news a little bit because it can get a little crazy, but also walking in your purpose and working hard to achieve your dreams and your goals. We have a great show lined up for you tonight, and I'm not going to bore you because I'm ready to get into it. So without further ado, let's get into the Simeon Henderson show. And you know how we do it, a little something like this.
Ain't no stopping now, it ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping now, there ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping now, it ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping now, it ain't no stopping now. This what you wanted, cause ain't no turning back. This what you wanted, cause ain't no turning back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Simeon Henderson Show, where we are giving a voice to the people. We are continuing to celebrate Black history and Black excellence during Black History Month, and we are ready to get this thing going. Tonight, we are pleased to have with us community leader, Brother Jean B. Lamothe, affectionately known as Jet. Okay, Brother Lamothe was born in Zaire, formerly the Republic of Congo, in Central Africa. Now, he was raised by his aunts and uncles in Haiti during his childhood, and he was later moved to the U.S. during the 1970s, where he united with his immediate family in New Jersey. Jean Lamothe attended Rutgers University in New Jersey, and he had a successful career of 29 years with the New Jersey Department of Labor, where he managed a staff of 400 people, 400 employees, and then he retired, okay? While attending Rutgers University, Brother Lamothe, he was inducted into the Mu Zeta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, April 22 in 1988. That's way before me. And as he embarks upon 33 years of service of Phi Beta Sigma, Brother Lamothe continues to let his Sigma light shine, having served the organization of Phi Beta Sigma, and he's continuing to shine a light, and he's continuing to do great things. And without further ado, I want to welcome to the Simeon Henderson Show, Brother Jean B. Lamothe. Hey, brother, how you feeling? Can you hear me?
I'm getting some feedback, Brother Henderson.
Are you? Do you have another device on? If you have another device on, that could be it.
Because let's see how we're doing.
I can hear you perfect.
All right, so we're gonna make it work. I mean, no device on, but some feedback. But it's okay. Let's go.
I can hear you perfect. Are you hearing feedback from me?
Yes, I'm getting feedback from you.
Okay, and the show is going, and I can't hear any feedback. So we're good. We're good. So, man, let's get into this, brother. Let's get into this. I am super excited to have you on the show. You look really good in that blue.
Appreciate it, brother, and so do you.
So here we go, man. So you're from Haiti. So the thing about this month has been so special to me. We've been featuring people like we always do, but we've been really paying attention to Black History Month. Okay. And are you having a hard time hearing me?
Yeah, it's so much reverberation. It's like when you talk, is repeating 2 or 3 times.
Okay, I don't know why, because I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. So why don't we do this? So everybody, so we want to make sure you guys hear everything in this interview and make sure it's right. Let's do this. Why don't you go out and come back in, okay? And while you go out and come back in, I'll do a little introduction for the people, and then we'll get going. So go out and come right back in. So everybody, you're watching the Simeon Henderson show where we are giving a voice to the people. We were having a little technical difficulties, which will be fixed in a second. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you guys a little bit of information. Now, I talk to you guys all the time about how important credit is. Your credit is so very important, right? And I know this because I had bad credit. And because of my good friends over at Recon Credit Repair, my credit scores are now 700 or above. Now, we're talking about somebody that didn't have good credit, and credit is so very important. So you guys need to get on that. I'm telling you right now, credit is very, very important. And if you want to fix your credit and you want to get on point, you need to talk to my guys over at Recon Credit Repair, AC Carter. He'll get you right and show you what you need to do in order to get on top of that, because it's very important. And I want you guys to have everything that you need, whether it's buying a house, buying a car, putting away money for school for your kids, whatever it is, you need to be on point with that. So Recon Credit Repair will get you right. Okay. So we're waiting for brother Jean Lamothe to come back in so we can get going and we can get this thing kicked off. But I want you guys to understand that it's all about what you do. It's all about what you do. What are you looking forward to? What are you trying to do to help? What are you doing? So we are going to just keep moving. And I want to bring my brother back in. I want to see what's going on and see if we can get him in. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, there you go. So we're in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There's
Okay.
the back. We're gonna work with it, brother. I
We
mean, I
can hear
still hear
you
some
fine.
reverberation. Let's
So
go.
it's
Okay.
it's about you. So we can hear you fine. So let's get going. So brother Lamont, you are from Haiti. That you're born in Haiti. You're from Haiti. Talk to us about your early childhood growing up in Haiti. What was that like?
It it it, it was quite an experience, after I came back from the state, you came to the States from Haiti. Just learning the language was very different for me because I thought in a different language. So that was interesting, and being first generation transition for me. But having an older sister help me go through that transition. But it was definitely, coming from a warm weather country to a cold country was a transition as well. But we made the transition.
Okay. So when you talk about um coming from Haiti, how was it adjusting to life in the US? I mean, after you united with your immediate family in Jersey, like what was that like? Because you were raised by your aunts and uncles. And we all, as Black people, we all know about being raised by our grandparents, aunts, uncle. And we say it takes a village, right? So
Right. That's
you
exactly right.
really lived that, right? So what
I,
was it like? Huh?
I was raised by, as you indicated, by my aunt, my father's sister, and it was a great experience. So coming back to the States to be with my parents was a new experience for me. But obviously, I had sisters that were already here, so it was from being the only young person, a child in a household, coming to a household with and a younger sister. So I went from one to three like real quick immediately. Then a couple of years after that, my younger sister's twins were born. So it was, it's instant growth in the family.
It's so funny, man, because when you talk about different countries, different nationalities, coming from different places and being able to adapt. One thing that I noticed, because I had friends that came from other countries that couldn't speak English, it seemed like it was easier to learn English, the English language, than it is for me to learn how to speak Haitian or Spanish or French and things like that. How was the language barrier for you?
Well, it really wasn't a language barrier for me in terms of, well, I'm multilingual. So I speak Spanish, I speak Creole, I speak English. But I do believe of all the languages that I speak, English has more exceptions than the other languages because other languages are more frenetic, right? But it was just the exceptions that I had to learn. The fact that my parents spoke English, the fact that my sisters spoke English, it made it easier for me to learn the language.
Mm.
But of all the languages I speak, English, because of the exceptions, made it a little more difficult, but we got through it.
Okay. So as we're gonna as we go through this interview, we're gonna get to know you very well. So we're talking about where you come from and your family life, the barriers and the language barriers and things like that. But then, one of the things I want to talk to you about is college. You went to Rutgers, right? Isn't
That's
that Rutgers is a very prestigious school? Rutgers is one of those schools that when you say the name, it carries weight, right?
right. Yeah.
So, A, what made you want to go to Rutgers? And B, what was your experience there like?
That's a great question, Brother Simeon, because with my pro uh, Afrocentricity philosophy, I applied to all HBCU schools except Rutgers. My mother wanted me to apply to Rutgers because it was in New Jersey. And it so happens that I got more financial assistance going to Rutgers. So that wound up being the school that I chose. But I really wanted to go to an HBCU. But it's interesting because after I graduated, I started realizing that Rutgers is a very prestigious school. It's just the only reason why I've been league is because it's a state institution.
Mhm.
But I'm very happy the fact that that I've got Rutgers diplomas.
So as you were in Rutgers or at Rutgers and attended there, you decided that you were going to become a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. What was that like? What attracted you to Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, and what made you go that way?
So, I was attracted to fraternities in general because I come from a household of four sisters and just me. So I have no brothers. So the concept of fraternities was interesting to me. I went to a alpha smoker, but then we called intra-school smokers. So I went to an alpha smoker because I was very studious and I heard that the alphas were smart guys. I went to an iota smoker because I have friends on my floor that were iotas. I went to a Sigma smoker and I said, you know what? I found home. The brothers resonated with me. I felt that, there was some this diversity within the brothers that were in that smoker. And I really thought that, that the Sigmas really talked about community service to, it affected me. And I said, you know what? This is the organization for me. So after I left the Sigma smoker, I said, I'm going to be a Sigma.
I like it. I like it. So now when you talk about becoming a Sigma, so you not only became a Sigma, you are one of the people that exemplify what Phi Beta Sigma is. Like myself, I'm always doing community work nonstop, always working with the youth, adults, rolling up my sleeves, and that that perseverance, that time and that service for culture and culture for humanity, that it rings true to us. And when you talk about, and when I look at you, it's even more prevalent because not only are you a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, but you were an international vice president of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, and you're now running for international president of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. So tell us, what was it like for you being the past VP? What was that like?
Well, it was an amazing experience. So my Sigma journey. I pledged my second semester freshman year at Rutgers, and did some great things with it on a collegiate level. And then I became, a regional officer in education in region. Then I became an international director of standards and awards, and we were able to create Sigma legacies in all those positions that we have served. So becoming the vice president of fraternity was almost a culmination because I was able to, at that point, at that level, be able to engage and interact with all the regions, with all brothers, collegiates, and alumni. And we were able to utilize our skill set creating programs that were impactful for our membership. And
Mm.
that's what it's all about. I do believe when you serve, you have to serve with the spirit of servant leadership. Thinking not of yourself, but thinking what can you do to help your membership as well as your community. So serving as a vice president was a blessing and an opportunity to really provide service for our membership.
Wow, I love that. And the one thing I love about what you're doing when we talk about being a community leader, it's not just your community. It's all of the communities around you. It's going to different places, different countries, and just being a beacon of light and helping to be a beacon of hope for different people everywhere. And when we talk about communities and community service, let's talk about this. Tell us about your leadership initiative, which supported Haiti following the 2010 earthquake, because that's huge, and that's what you call giving back, never forgetting, and wanting to see people get better. What was that like?
Well, absolutely. For those that remember during the earthquake in Haiti, it affected a lot of people and myself personally because that is my background. Being able to create, initiatives by bringing like thousands of water to Haiti, the things that we take for granted, toothpaste, toothbrushes. We were able to create a lot of initiatives with chapters and with churches, and we sent thousands and thousands of, those type of things that we take for granted to Haiti. Made me feel good about that. Community service is about, putting those ahead of what you want for yourself. And I think that was instilled in me. Not I think, I know that was instilled in me through my parents. And it's something that Sigma does, such a natural fit. And, just to see the support that chapters, Zetas, Sigma chapters, and friends did and provided support to Haiti was amazing.
Yes, yes, I love it. So it's Black History Month, and we're Black men. So I want you to talk to us about fatherhood and the importance of the presence of Black men in our communities, because I think people sometimes they don't realize how, and it's not taking anything away from anybody else, but our presence in our communities is so very vital. What do you think about that?
Well, great question. Again, Brother Simeon, as a father myself, I have a son that's at Villanova University, his first year, and I have a daughter in her third year in college. I think it's important for my kids to have seen me be positive all the time, right? The media has a tendency to portray men of color in not a positive light. So I think it's important, to recognize that first and know that every time you step outside and even when you're inside, your kids are watching you. So it's important to, behave in a manner that's professional, that's positive, make sure that you teach them, to be positive about themselves. Because I think, that we're constantly battling negative imagery, from the media. So how we combat that is making sure that we are out there doing positive things, not just saying it, but living it and encouraging others to do the same.
So it's Black History Month. So we're trying to stress the importance of Black excellence in education and how important education is to not only Black people, but to people in general. But we're really stressing it with Black people because I can tell you when I was growing up, I didn't have people telling me you need to go to college, you need to do this, it wasn't that where I grew up, it wasn't prevalent and it wasn't a must. But nowadays, education is so very important, and there isn't a lot that you can do without having an education. So we're inspiring our viewers to embrace their achievements and target Black excellence and achieve their goals. How important is that to you?
Well, education is extremely important. I come from, again, a background where both my parents instilled the importance of education in us. I do believe, like, while you may not necessarily want to go to college to get an education, some people want to do some type of trade school, but it's definitely important to whatever your passion is that you look to educate yourself to get to a better place. Because without that, we're not going to grow. You're not going to be able to achieve your goals. So I do believe that, whether it's the conventional way of going to college, or it's you going to a trade school, or you're just reading a lot to develop yourself. Education is key to success.
Brother, the one thing I love about you is the fact that you serve people. You serve people. You have a service and you have a selflessness about you that just exudes through you and comes out of your person. And I think that's awesome because we need that. And I tell people all the time, I'm an actor and a motivational speaker, and I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma. And I'm in a position where I can highlight my brothers who are running for office and doing different things. And as I mentioned to you, to me, you guys are all awesome brothers and you're very intelligent, you're very smart. And my thing is to always encourage people, no matter what office you run for, no matter what you're doing, regardless of the outcome, your service and your light is going to shine regardless. And I just think it's so important that people see that and they know that. And when they understand that, that's when the support comes in. And when you talk about people, now, you work for the Department of Labor, as a professional career, managing a staff of over 400 employees, right? You're dealing with people and their families. How important was it for you to have good relationships as a boss? And I know sometimes you probably had to be a counselor, a friend, a doctor, a preacher, a father. How important was that to you?
Well, you know what, good brother, as you indicated, managing a staff of over 400 employees, about 35% of them were physician staff, different levels of education. I think a very diverse group, of individuals, being led by a person of color. So that in itself was a challenge. But you have to, in order to be successful and to create a spirit of collaboration. I think the key is making sure that you connect with them, right? You have to be able to engage your staff and have conversation, and at the same time making sure that everybody understands that there is a goal and an objective that needs to be met. So while we could be connected, but we're all supposed to be working in collaboration to achieve our goals. And I just believe having great people skills and people skills and relationship building skills allowed me to be effective in that role as assistant director of the department.
Right on, brother. So we talked about where you're from. We talked about what you're doing. We talked about the fraternity. We talked about the community service. We talked about all these things. Let's have a little fun. Okay. We see who you are as the community leader. We see who you are as a boss. We see who you are as a brother and an encourager. Let's get to know when we got with the little time we got left. Let's get to know you, the person. Look, and it's so funny. I was laughing when I saw your name. I said, black people, boy, we see Jen. His name is Gene. No, his name is not Gene. His name is Jean Lamothe. Right? So so I just like to have a little fun sometime. Let me ask you this though. This is the thing. This is the question I have. The biggest question I have is this. I like this, and I need to know what's behind this. Right there. Jet. So where did that come from? Because JET is not Jean B. Lamont. So where did Jet come from? I mean, you can put it together and find JET in there, but where did Jet come from? Did you play sports? Were you fast? Did you get chased home a lot? And they said, man, he's so fast, he like a jet.
Well, first, let me say to you, thank you for saying my first name correctly. Okay, thank you, because people struggle with Jean all the time. Right. So the name Jet is a nickname. For those who don't know, I inherited that from my freshman year. I ran track in high school. I went to Essex Catholic Boys Parochial High School, and Coach Casaro, my coach, said, "Man, you're fast for a freshman. We're gonna put you on the varsity team and we're gonna call you Jet. So for my freshman year, that nickname Jet stayed with me, all throughout college and professionally, and everybody calls me Jet. And I'm thinking, part of it is because it's much easier to pronounce than Jean. But I'm okay with the nickname.
That's what my thought was. I'm like, hey, it's easier to pronounce, but then again, us black folks, we gonna give you a nickname. So it was either gonna be Jet or JB.
That's the nickname I have too.
See, I cannot deny my blackness. So man, when you think about, let me ask you this. When you think about so people watching the show, right? Team Jet. So my childhood friend who I played football and basketball in college. Look, he said Simeon runs a 4.4640. I did. I ran a 4.6. I think the fastest I ever ran the 40 was 4.5. And then his mom, which you said it now, she used to call me Seaman.
Mm.
So the first time she called me that, my brother, who's so funny, Jacob, he goes, "Hey, don't get nobody pregnant, Seaman." I said, "Okay." And the one thing I love, man, is that, like I said, your personality, man, and everything that you do, you brothers, and for me, it's such a treat to be at this point in my career and still be financial and be in a grad chapter. But not only that, now I'm connected to my brothers internationally. So how important is it for you? And we know that you're a candidate for the international president of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. So I have to ask you this question because it's something I want to know, and I know people want to know because people are watching and people are going to go back and view the show. How important is it for you, the brotherhood, coming together, working together, and building together?
Okay. Yeah. For me, brother, being in a fraternity for 33 years, right? I think it's vitally important as an organization that was founded on the principles, the very first principle being brotherhood. We got to prioritize that because I do believe when we prioritize brotherhood, all the other things come naturally, right? If we have strong brotherhood, then we're going to be able to sit in those chapter meetings and get the business done. If we have strong brotherhood, we're going to be connected and be able to provide the service that we need to provide to our communities. If we have strong brotherhood, everything and anything is achievable. So for me, everything starts with the brotherhood because that allows us to move in unison and have impact in our community. So that's why I believe brotherhood is the principle that we should always keep ever present in our mind in everything that we do.
Awesome, awesome. I'll tell you this, after having brothers like Chris and yourself and Benjamin on the show, I'll tell you one thing, that it's inspired me to want to be more involved. I was blessed and honored to be in the National Crescent magazine with brother John Lewis, and so that was it was just heartfelt for me, and I want to be a part of Conclave. I can't wait for the chance to get to speak to the brothers and encourage the brothers and just inspire, educate, and motivate the brothers. But you guys have empowered me and what made me want to be a bigger part of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated incorporation. But not only that, to be an even bigger influence in my community and in the world, period. So I thank you for everything you're doing. I thank you for your service. And I just thank you for being a real brother, and B, being selfless. I really thank you for that, brother. And let me ask you this before we close, I want to ask you this. As a community leader, as a former VP, as a candidate for international for international president, as a person who knows how to lead people and just encourage people, give our viewers a message of empowerment.
Okay, so great question. When I think about empowerment, Brother Simeon, I think about it's a process where individuals are trying to make themselves stronger. They're looking to gain confidence, and the way you do that is first and foremost strengthen yourself. Educate yourself, learn what the issues are. And develop strategies to try to get you to a better place. Establish relationships with people that have similar, focus and similar values. But empowerment is about really developing yourself, getting stronger, and so you could be able to move whatever you're trying to move forward.
Yes.
So that's what I'd like to encourage all those to do with respect to empowerment. Thank you for the question. Again, with together we can move mountains. So that's what empowerment is all about.
Man, thank you, Brother Jet. I want to thank you so much, man. I want to thank you for joining the Simeon Henderson Show as we continue to celebrate our Black History Month, as we continue to encourage, motivate, and inspire others to become successful. And I always tell people, don't only be inspired to learn about Black history and read about Black history, be inspired to build, create, and make Black history. And when we do those things, we know that we're on the road to success. And I want people to always know that you have to walk in your confidence, and you always have to be sure of who you are. So I just want to say thank you, brother. God bless you. And I look forward to seeing great things from you. I look forward to working with you. And I have to get you a copy of the motivational album, Believe. Got to get you that. And I got to get you a Be Symbolic shirt. So Be Symbolic, that's the tag. It means simply your best, and being deeply rooted stimulates growth. And my symbol, it has the Sigma E in it. And it's a lot of symbolism in it, but it's because that's what built me up. That's what helped me to grow. And I just want you to understand and know everything you're doing is well worth it. And everybody, Brother Jean Lamothe is a candidate for president, international president of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. All our brothers and sisters out there, no matter how you vote, no matter who goes in there, we have to remember that we are here to serve, and we are here to do a good and great work. So I encourage you guys to do that. And don't forget, before we get out of here, we have to give you the 5 things that you need to know right here on the Simeon Henderson Show. And don't go anywhere, Jet, because right after the 5 things before we close, I have something to say to you, because somebody said that we should race. Man, I'm not gonna be out there pulling no hamstrings. I work out. Hey, I work out just to stay in shape. I ain't trying to win no races.
Appreciate you, brother. God bless.
All right. So everybody, we're going to give you the 5 things you need to know right here on the Simeon Henderson Show, brought to you by our very own Chicago Fly Guy.
Hey, it's America's favorite personality, your Chicago Fly Guy, bringing you the best 411 and top 5 things that you need to know for Black History Month right here on the Simeon Henderson Show. Number 5. Did you know the first Black billionaire was Bob Johnson? Yes, Robert Johnson had a little change. He is founder of the BET Network, and Bob founded the network in 2001. Number 4. Interracial marriage was banned in 1664 and not overturned until 1967 as a result of the marriage of Richard Loving, a white man, and Mildred Jeter, a black woman who lived in the state of Virginia. Number 3. Did you know that Afro-American History Month was first Afro-American History Week? Yes. This launched in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson. It became a month-long celebration in 1976. Number 2. Before there was Ali, there was Jack Johnson. Yes, Jack Johnson was a heavyweight champion. He carried the title from 1908 until 1915. The number 1 thing that you need to know is, although Dr. Martin Luther King is credited with the March on Washington, behind Reverend King, there was Bayard Rustin. Rustin is notable for strategizing, organizing, and helping to implement the successful historical march that we know today. I'm your Chicago Fly Guy, and these have been the top 5 things and the best 411 that you need to know right here on the Simeon Henderson Show.
I love the Chicago Fly Guy. And I want to say this. We had a lot of comments going on during the show. That's one. That's our next international president, a servant leader. And 88 was a great year. And the Sigma says, old head, Andre Hampton, who's my grandfather, everybody. And then we have John White, who's been with us the whole time. And we also have TSU, Sigma Dude. That's HBCU. Okay. Indeed, our next president. So everybody that tuned into the Simeon Henderson Show, Ron, everybody's watching. I appreciate you guys. I want to give a big shout out to our executive producer, Jumani Anamdi, our producer, Jose Perez, and our creative director and brother that makes this show run, Sheldon Smith. I thank you guys for joining. Brother Lamothe, I thank you so much. I appreciate you. And like always, everybody remember, be symbolic, simply your best, because being deeply rooted stimulates growth. And never forget Philippians 4:13. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and you are the author and finisher of your faith. We'll see you next time on the Simeon Henderson Show, and we are out.